What's up, tubers? Welcome back to the channel. You'd asked for tips and tricks, and so I'm gonna try to give the people what they want. So instead of formulating a shot list and maybe even scripting, as I sometimes will, I'll go through a process of setting up the shots that I want to see, a little bit of scripting and getting the angle right of where the camera's going to be. Instead of doing all that, like come up with an idea or a tip or a trick, I'm just going to do, for visual purposes, demonstration. Obviously, I'm holding the phone that I'm going to record with, but what I'll do is I'll drop a phone in my little paint spray thing and use that to film with and just do it. Just go through it. So today I'm doing a little. I've been making. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to where the camera is and where the stuff is. I'm making disc brakes for a kit that I'm working on with that RS in the background there. These wheels did not come with a kit, and they're nice and open. They're really visual. So as you can see there, I've made. Here, let me pop that out without damaging my fresh paint. I made a little, disc and caliper. You can't totally. It'll be fine once it goes on the wheel. There, you can see it's just a visual representation. It'll look like a giant red brake caliper when it sits on the shelf. So, bitchin'. That being said, I've got a little bit of painting to do on. I've kept one off to the side here that I still have to put some color. Put the what is this, flat aluminum, I think, and flat red. But this tip is mostly about brush cleaning and using these guys as my cleaning pots. As I mentioned before, I was a high-end house painter for a lot of years, and one gig I worked, I was an actual apprentice. I never even got to touch a brush except for cleaning them for the master painters. Man, how demeaning is that? Day after day of just cleaning someone else's brush. So, in turn, I learned a little bit about that. And a lot of painters will use and reuse their thinners over and over and over again. Because over time, the sediment will settle, and you can pull off the top and use it for another thing, or you can even clean in the dirty thinner. And that's kind of what I'm going to get to, is that these lids off of the rattle cans, they work great as a cleaner pot. And I prefer, I think it's the Rust-Oleum. Yeah, it says right there. The larger ones have, if you can see there's a separator, so there's 3 compartments. This way I can have a dirty thinner and a clean thinner. That's one of the keys to keeping your brushes clean. So I'm going to pour up a little bit. I prefer this lacquer thinner. You don't have to use it. You don't, do whatever your cleaner is. So if I do this on camera without spilling it all over the place, the idea being I get a little bit, I got a lot. Here, let me just move the camera. So you see there's 2 different sections there. Okay, pretty brainless. Usually I like to keep that off to the side, sitting on something that will soak it up in the event of the spillage. For when you spill it, because you're gonna spill it. Oops. So, I can pan the camera. Cool. So I'm gonna, just real simple, slap some paint on there. Again, this is gonna be kind of hidden behind the wheel, so I'm not really too worried about the overall quality of it. It just needs to be silver or metal looking. So whatever, that's fine. That'll go over on the drying rack. That I am deep in details right now with this RS. I'm doing all the little tiny stuff and all the little brushes, and was part of the fun. So anyways, back to the cleaning. We'll do this over here. The idea being that I want to keep the keep it separate, so the middle will be dirty and the outside will be cleaner. So just jamming the brush into a corner. Oops, spillage. And you see it already got a lot of it out of there. The trick being to kind of jam it and turn it at the same time. And I don't mean like really leaning onto it, but pushing it enough so that it agitates it. And then I'll use the rag to wipe that off and then go to the cleaner section. And there you go. Bam. So, like I said, I prefer the ones with the 3 compartments, so there's just that much more of a process of, wow, see, I almost bumped it there, of, clean, cleaner, and cleanest, whatever. So, there you go. That's today's tips and tricks. How to reuse paint lids for your cleaner pots. And I'll just let that sit there. That'll sit there, and a lot of times it just evaporates out, and then I can reuse that or just throw it away. Like there's any shortage of paint lids. So let me know what you think of this new camera technique for tips and tricks. And there you go. Model on. We'll see you on the next one.